Good evening, everybody!
Hi!
Hi! Chris's mic sensitivity is quite high. You can hear just about anything that goes on.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Shuffling about for the last 30 seconds, just kind of like...
Fucking need to oil my chair. Yeah, I do.
We're back.
In this case, it's my door. Give me a sec.
Oh god, yeah. We're back. We're doing the same shit as last week. We started making a fairy sorcerer, realized it was a gigantic job, and now we're doing it again. And my co-host appears to have fucked off. Sorry, do you need me to turn his mic down?
I'm just incredibly loud.
I am sorry if you were using headphones.
Yeah.
Right,
I'm always sorry when people hear me through headphones.
Your volume is now at a third what it was when we started.
Right, okay. That's probably fine. Sorry.
Bring it up!
My incredibly wonderful wife, who we all know and love,
Wait.
hung a towel over the door to my little voiceover booth. Which obviously meant I couldn't close the door, and then I yanked it off instead of lifting off, which pulled some of the rubber sealant on the door. So I had to go and like fix that and then close the door. So yeah, a freedom voice in my earbud. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. It's
The only true freedom is death of the oppressor.
and so forth.
The crackle on that.
I know, right?
It's
That's why
amazing
it happens
how
when you-
much the sound quality is affected when the microphone is up your nose.
Hey, if you roll an R into a microphone, you know, that's just a bad time for everybody. All right.
If you roll your R's into the microphone.
Yeah. Well, essentially, because, you know, in the same way that with a pop shield is there to try and avoid the plosives, and the kind of explosions of air, the R is still bursts of air coming past your tongue, so it's not as violent as a
your tongue
P
doing
or a
that.
B in terms of plosives. There's still a it's still a thing of air, so it's going to absolutely fuck with a microphone.
Yeah, because it's just your tongue doing that really fast. At least the way we do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because
Alright, anyway,
Scotland,
enough of that
etc.
shite.
right,
Hello.
fairies. Don't fuck with them.
You-
As a rule,
Who you calling a fairy?
the fucking fairies,
Oh yes, that's a
fair
good point.
folk, the fae, the lords and
The fae.
ladies.
Indeed. The fair fuck you up, as we said. As
Aye.
you said. You said.
Seriously, that's gonna annoy the shit out of me.
It's alright. I'm already annoyed about my surroundings. It's your turn.
There's something in this room, which unfortunately does contain a certain amount of glass, that is resonating with my voice at certain points, and it creates like a weird ringing echo, like that, which you won't be able to hear, so I sound like a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, we can't hear it.
Yeah, because it's like a really small noise, and I don't know what it is. Because there's too many hollow glass-like or metal things in this room for me to track it down.
Realistically, Jay, this is your penance.
What?
All right, hang on, excuse me.
I think that's our fastest ever bop.
Yay! Banned.
Heater.
And delete
My
message.
pot of inspiration.
The message doesn't delete when I ban it, and I don't know why.
That's
I like-
changed. Has that changed? I think
I'm
that's
sure it
changed.
used to.
I think it did, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
like, there you go. Dragon, is the message still there for you, or is it just us who can still see it?
Nope, there you go. Message deleted.
Yay! That's alright then.
Right, so fairies, sorcerers, sorcerer fairies, and possibly even fairy sorcerers.
Fairly sorcerer.
Yeah, we're gonna have a bit more energy than last week, but I can't promise we'll have any more direction. Good. Message deleted is better
I can't
than
even remember what the
fucking
fuck we
spam
did.
bots. Yeah. So we decided we were gonna go with sort of your seasonal court theme because we hate ourselves. Each with kind of your different. No, we're not necessarily gonna. I'm not. When I do write up the flavor for this, I don't necessarily think I'm going to include. I'm going to include the, sort of the sovereigns that we have added for the various courts, but I'm going to try and keep it open-ended because sorcerers are kind of the catch-all miscellaneous of magic users. It's like you have magic in your bones. Your bones are haunted.
Haunted bones? Bone magic?
It's like, are you really into
Why
a god?
haven't we made a
No.
bone magic sorcerer?
It's like, are you really into a god? No. Did you fuck a demon? No. Did you get really
your
good grades in
mom fuck a
school?
demon?
No. Can you play the flute? No. You swear an oath to anything? No.
It's the Lady Gaga of magic.
Maybe
I
you
was
were just born this way?
Yeah.
Not always. I like the ideas of sorcerers that come across their magic later in life. Through just shit happens to them.
They trauma themselves into magic?
Or, you stuck your arm in a hole in a tree and accidentally absorbed a shitload of Feywild essence, and now you have sorcery points.
You know what? That, actually, I hadn't thought about that. That's not a terrible, terrible, terrible vibe.
Yeah, because explicitly not all sorcerers are born. Some of them are imbued. Some of them come across their powers. They really are a catch-all.
Is this how you know I haven't read enough about sorcerers?
I get bored.
How do you, of all people, get bored? You're like one of the only people I know who's busier than I am.
Not today, I wasn't.
Fair enough.
I have been playing Baldur's Gate 3 pretty much all day.
That sounds
class. Because you know what? I'm unemployed.
Yay!
I'm unemployed, and every once in a while I need a break. But I will be getting back to work very soon. Because I'm only technically unemployed. The worst kind of unemployed.
I know, right? Because actually, you run a company.
Because I run a company, yeah. So I am self-employed, but also not for tax reasons. It's weird.
It's a wild way when you employ yourself but are also not self-employed.
Yeah, I know, right? So anyway, right.
I know.
This one is going to be a bit structurally weird because I think what we're going to do is, because this table isn't really going to work for the normal, for the spells we're going to do. So I'm going to record the spells over here, and when I do the fancy PDF, I will create their own sort of separate tables and things, but I guarantee you this one's going to be a mess. So what we need to do is...
It's a mess only for those who subscribe to his Patreon.
It's free. It is free. I will always put that down. Is all the D&D stuff is free. There's other stuff on there that isn't free, but honestly, it's not updated very as often as I would like. So just stick with the free stuff.
Yeah.
I'm really
One
good
day
at selling
he's going to
myself.
put his feet picks up, and then then the popularity will explode.
My feet can pick up anything. I pick things up with my feet all the time. Yes, I'm weird. Okay, so we have our 4-court split, our eternal sort of war across the ravages of the Feywild, and we were going to do like little micro abilities that you sort of choose which one you want from winter, spring, summer, and autumn, each with their own themes. With winter being defensive and cold, Spring being the circle of life and death, summer being fiery, big, bright and bold, and autumn being trickery and fuckery. In that order.
Expressly trickery, then fuckery.
Yep. So let's get our Vivaldi on and look at some Four Seasons.
Yep.
First level, you learn to tap into the ever-shifting magic of the Feywild.
And Dweedle.
Calling on power from each of the 4 courts. When you gain this ability, because we did think about like shifting between them.
Yes,
like,
that
not-
was
this is not
definitely,
set.
you know, there was definitely, that was very much an idea, was, you know, like moving between them in a similar way to invocations for
Yeah.
warlocks. Welcome to the chat room. Have a custom bikes for tea. No worries, Dragon. Catch you in a minute.
I mean, no, officer, he hasn't got this on at work. Shh.
Shh. Never heard of him. Work. Never heard of him.
I wish that was true.
I know. God, wouldn't that be lovely?
Yeah, because I'm really busy with all my own shit, and now I need a job.
Yep. It's fucking.
I need
That's
to
what
talk
it
to
is.
your
It's
wife.
fucking. Everyone needs to talk to my wife. She is fabulous.
She is.
Yeah, that's fair.
But this time I have a specific reason. Winter, spring, summer, autumn.
But here's a thought. So, because obviously we said, you know, we want to have like different things for different courts, but we had also said we don't necessarily want to do 4 sets of 4 of pick and choose your own adventuring abilities.
Yeah, because we'll lose our
that might be
fucking
too
minds.
much. Yes. Well, I'm just scrolling through other sorcerer archetypes. And dragon sorcerer, depending on your draconic bloodline, which you get to pick.
You get resistances and you get
yeah.
yeah.
So, you know, it's like choose one. Each dragon uses a feature you gain later. So yeah, you pick a damage type.
Yeah.
And you can get affinities and you can get resistances. Now, for Fae, it might be better to go with statuses rather than damage types. Like you could have an immunity to a particular status effect.
Okay. So
That's
winter,
like
that
maybe
would probably
since it's an
Huh?
yeah, like it's like a 6th level or something. You get an immunity to a status effect.
Yeah, because
Or is that
winter would
14th?
probably be frightened. Autumn would be charmed.
Yep.
What would spring and summer be?
Let me go and look up what all of the conditions are.
Summer, you can't be blinded.
5 conditions. Right. Roll 20. Tell me, what are all of the conditions one can have? So, we've got blinded, charmed, deafened, frightened, grappled, incapacitated, invisible, paralyzed, petrified, poisoned, prone, restrained, stunned, unconscious. There we go. That's 13.
So there's a couple of those we can. There's a couple of those we can rule out pretty much immediately because they are either OP as fuck or would genuinely break the game. So we can't have someone being immune to being unconscious.
Yep.
And
Nor can we have someone being immune to being prone.
We can't have someone being immune to being prone because that is so hard. I would also maybe argue for restrained as well.
Yeah, I think immune to being restrained is a bit weird.
And for the exact opposite reason, I'm also going to recommend not being immune to being petrified because so few creatures use it.
Very fair. Okay, well that brings us down to 9 things,
There we go.
which
Well,
is
if we knock one out, we
enough
can
to
do 2
do
per
2
court.
apiece.
What?
Yeah, 2 per court.
So what else is on
So-
there that we can knock out?
Well, so let's go through them again. So, classic
Grappled.
stuff we've got: blinded, charmed, deafened, frightened, grappled, incapacitated, invisible, paralyzed, poisoned, stunned.
I think
I'm
lose
gonna throw this out there and
incapacitated.
saying I think we should lose invisible, because I don't think being immune to being invisible is a good thing.
That's a fair point, actually. That would suck. That would suck.
That would suck.
That would suck and be very funny.
It would
your
be
wi-
hilarious.
Like your wizard friend is like, hey, you're gonna sneak in. Whoopah! A greater invisibility. Why aren't you disappearing? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention I'm immune to invisibility. I'm immune to being invisible.
That would be very funny.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah. Well, if we say like, what's like the big? So if we could, because we can almost kind of split these into like big ones and little ones. Like paralyzed and stunned are like big ones to be immune to.
They are, but also they're quite rare.
Yeah, but if you pair it with something like frightened or deafened, which is really common,
Because
so you do like yeah. There's this one like thing that would really fuck you up, and is very rare, and like one thing that's super common, but maybe fucks you up less.
So paralyzed, stunned, incapacitated, and what would the last one be?
Grappled.
Grappled because it has to go somewhere.
Yeah, immune to grappling.
They just
and I
can't-
want to put it on autumn.
Someone tries to bear hug you and you just step through their arms like, nope.
Yep, and I really want to do it for autumn. I want autumn to just be like, can't catch me, can't catch these hands.
You literally
And
look
then
someone,
literally you're like,
you look someone dead in the eyes and goes, in the name of the autumn court of the Feywild. Can't touch this. Do 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 do.
I'm so here for this.
Okay, yeah, fuck it. Let's chuck that in our 6th level.
Yeah. Alright. So then
Uh,
So then we've got like our 4 basic ones: blinded, charmed, deaf, and frightened. Blinded should be summer. Charmed should be autumn. Frightened, you want it to be winter. So deafened is probably spring.
all the sound of all the sheep fucking.
I know, right? Process of elimination.
Right. So that we were talking about that for like 6th level. We're still on 1st.
Yes. We are, but let's just write all of this down because we're gonna forget it if we don't.
Do some immunity bullshit. There we go.
There we go.
Oh wait, no, hang on, sorry. Condition immunity bullshit.
Thank you.
It's always got to be conditional.
Alright. Absolutely. The love of a parent, it's conditional.
Yes, and that condition is trauma.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Alright. I just
Everybody
oh
had a great
man,
time.
I made a genuinely like I made a joke to Vari and she's like, yes, that is terrible. We laugh about it, but that is terrible that you said that.
You say that
And
you
I'm
do
like,
shit
yeah.
like that all the time.
I have a real bad tendency for just taking like the worst thing I can think of and trying to make it funny.
Little bit of column A, little bit of column.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm still proud of that joke.
It flashes into my head every once in a while.
Well, yeah. I mean,
remember, everything you say here is recorded and put on the internet forever.
it is in fact recorded and put on the internet.
So
Well,
this is why I
today
think certain...
it was- Yeah. Today was jokes about cancer patients, so that's the level I was at today.
Mate, it could be worse. I met a guy in university who was... I didn't like him. But he'd shaved his head very recently, so I'll refer to him as Captain Chemo to his face. That was when I was coming in to work on a project with him.
So, mine. There's a couple that I know.
I really want you to remember that this is being recorded and put on the internet.
I know that I'm happy to go with on a level of Captain Chemo. So there's a couple I know, and she's a terrible driver. And she was complaining about it, and I just came away from it, and I was just like, maybe if she learned to fucking drive, she wouldn't have any of these problems. Her husband's got a brain tumor, and they're having to move house because he can't manage the stairs. And I was talking to Varya, and I was like, well, maybe if she fucking learned to drive. And then I stopped, and Varya was like, what? I was like, I can't say it. And then she's like, what? And I said, well, why would she learn to drive if he can't learn to walk up the stairs? I'm a really terrible person.
That's fucking horrifying, Chris.
Isn't it?
That's fucking horrifying and should never say that ever again.
Ever. So there we go, wider internet. There is a recognition that that is a terrible thing to say, and I'm aware that no one will ever employ me because that's fine. Okay, I accept that. I have said a terrible thing. I do not wish harm on any of these people. That is an awful joke. And it's... Yeah, that's the world. That's how my brain works. I'm very much of the Daniel Sloss. I feel like the thing that would make me a good person is that I don't trip the child just to see them fall. Because I've already pictured it.
I will be strong. Well, that is a full bottle of whiskey. Very good, very strange blended whiskey, but yes. Anyway,
Anyway,
how the fuck did we? No,
we were on Faye. We were on Faye.
Yeah, because that's the kind of shit they would say. Because they're horrifyingly insulting.
Yes,
See, it's thematic. We promise.
It's totally thematic.
So,
Right. Yes.
first level sorcerers.
Mm-hmm.
It tends to be like little extra things that happen. To be honest, it's kind of anything.
It kind of is.
Because
Like
storm sorcerers get a little bit of flight. Shadow sorcerers get extra dark vision. It's all over the fucking shop.
Yeah, we've got telepathic speech. We've got what's this one? Restore balance.
You get to eliminate advantage.
Equalize chaotic moments. Creature within 60 rolls, you can use your reaction to prevent the roll from being affected by advantage or disadvantage. Wow, you can just cancel out disadvantage and advantage.
If I remember correctly, you don't
That's
get a lot of
hard.
You don't get a lot of uses of it.
Equal to your proficiency bonus.
Oh, that's not bad. I have less research materials available because I've lent most of my core D&D books to Nyx.
Fair.
Because they want to run a one shot, and I was like, here, have the books to study.
Yep. Dragons, you get a
AC boost.
You
and
get a
health
new
boost,
language.
and it's very defensive. Is the draconic soul.
Charisma checks. Yeah. Your first thing is first level. Your hit point maximum increases by 1 and increase by 1 again whenever you gain a level in this class.
Yeah, and you get permanent
Additionally,
mage armor.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's pretty good for a class that doesn't have any armor proficiencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because, you could just do like.
Yeah.
I mean, there isn't really much that goes like charisma dex, but like you're probably going to be doing dex anyway, particularly if you decided to multi-class into,
Well, this is the thing actually, because
thingy.
sorcerers, you're gonna have to max out charisma and con, because you don't have a lot of armor proficiencies. You don't have any armor proficiencies, so you're going to need a chunky health pool to keep you alive, and you want to maximize your use of Constitution saving throws. So
True.
Unless you are playing the kind of system where you are able to totally fucking dump your intelligence, wisdom, and strength all at once, you're not going to be able to really focus dexterity enough to get that cap out. And if you manage to max out your dexterity, then admittedly you're capping out at 18 base AC with
it's good for a caster,
which is good for anyone. Like 18 AC is good no matter who you are, especially when you can stick an extra 5 on that when you have shield.
Yeah.
So there's that. But if you have managed to get 20 in your dexterity but you haven't put 20 in your charisma, I think you're maybe building your sorcerer wrong.
Again, I think it depends.
It does depend, because there are ways of doing. It's less true of spellcasters, where you can slightly disregard the primary stat a little bit, because I personally quite like the idea of playing a low dexterity rogue.
Kindly explain.
It would be what you would be doing is you would be focusing a lot heavier onto skills and social engineering. So you would be making your primary stats something like charisma or wisdom, and putting your expertise in things like persuasion and deception.
That's fair.
Because you don't actually need, like, very few of the rogue abilities actually depend on your dexterity. The only one I can think of off the top of my head that directly does is evasion.
Yeah. But then sneak attack is primarily dex weapons.
But that's the thing, is sneak attack, as we have established before, you don't actually need to use dexterity with it.
No. Wait. But no, because if it's a finesse weapon, you can use strength.
You can use strength or dex. It's your choice. This is why the Rogue Barian works.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Because you can use reckless attack to activate to proc sneak attack when you decide that being a swashbuckler isn't up your alley and you just want to fucking brain someone with a rapier.
Well, this is why I wanted to have my gentleman fencer barbarian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I would like to recklessly attack, and then I would like to cunning action dash.
Absolutely.
I like rejecting the idea of all rogues being stealthy, because I find that it actually comes out to a kind of boring playstyle.
I mean, you have always been one to shuck the archetype.
That's true for a lot of things.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons that you and I struggled in, well, you less so, but one of the reasons we have on occasion struggled in competitive card gaming. Because we kept wanting to build decks that didn't follow the standard meta.
Well, to be fair, it's not so much like it's what happened was the decks I enjoyed and thought were cool crossed over with some of the things that were meta. But I never really built them in the meta way, so what I ended up with is playing a lot of rogue tier decks, which is like, look, they get wins occasionally, but they're not like up there. And it was just fun. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Only tournament I've ever competed in, I won.
Hey!
Only Yu-Gi-Oh tournament I've ever competed in. And it was really, really good fun, because it came down to the final match was myself with my Black Wings and the other guy playing Dark Lords. Both of these are rogue tier decks that are like not ranked by anyone in the community. And the two of us were just having the best fucking time with this back and forth. And I had it by the skin of my teeth.
I'm like, that I love. That I love so much.
But, unfortunately, competitive strategy does not mesh with that at all. It was the reason why I fell out of love with competitive TCGs. Because well, Yu-Gi-Oh being the one I played, I think Magic the Gathering is a bit less of this, but I don't like how Magic does its ban lists. And also, dear God, I'm not getting into cardboard crack again. But
no, God, no.
Basically the idea was the best way to win is to make sure your opponent cannot play the game.
Yeah, which I don't like.
Which is I think is just a terrible, terrible philosophy when it comes to a game, and it means that it purely comes down to whoever gets the most of their combo pieces first, and then you end up with shitloads of power creep, and then all the old decks that were fun and interesting and an actually competitive meta fucking disappear. And also, Konami doesn't know how to balance a card to save their fucking life.
Konami are just some of the worst. Oh, yeah, fuck Konami.
Yeah, fuck Konami. Unless they want to give me a job, in which case, definitely fuck them.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if you want to make pachinko machines for the rest of your life, out of beloved IP.
I would rather shit in my hand and clap.
Whilst getting paid?
I mean, that'd be great. It's like, I mean, if I got paid for that, I'd need to, because suddenly I would have a crippling toilet paper addiction.
Although,
first thing I'd buy with a new paycheck would be a bidet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, move to Japan, don't need no toilet paper.
Magic robot bidet that speaks to me in the night. The last thing I want.
Songs.
The last thing I want when I get up for a slash in the middle of the night is for something to start talking to me.
We'll sing you a song while we're washing your butt.
I will break that with a hammer. I will go for a I will get up in the middle of the night to go for a shit with my phone in one hand and a claw hammer in the other, so I can threaten the toilet to shut the fuck up if it just tries to talk to me at 3 a.m. when I just want to take a piss.
Oh.
Past a certain... Once the PM becomes AM, don't fucking talk to me. I don't care if you're a robot.
We got distracted again.
Yeah, we did, because we opened our mouths. Did we ever get undistracted? No. Right, we need 4 little abilities.
And we need them. I think we need. Yeah, well, we know what our theming is.
Yeah.
So, pick. What one of you kind of got the strongest vibe for?
The only one I can think of off the top of my head that would be a good idea is what you could do is winter. You could have a sort of I'm not sure how well this would work, but you could do a sort of shield-like ability where if you are hit by an attack or you fail a saving throw, you can expend sorcery points to increase your roll.
Okay, how about maybe something a little closer to the Warcaster Wizard?
The kind
and
of
you get to expend, and then you get Warcaster Wizard gets an AC increase reaction.
Yeah, because it gives you a little it does give you an AC and I think a dex save boost, or at least some kind of saving throw boost.
Yeah, it's because it gives you a +2.
Or what we could do is we could kind of marry the two parts together with it being defense and cold, and say every time, whenever you deal cold damage with a spell, you gain temporary hit points equal to your charisma modifier.
Hey, that would be cool. I like that.
So that gives you a reasonably refreshing pool of temp hit points.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it means that. But if we allow cantrips in it, that'll make it nice and powerful. Because you can use something like Frostbite or Ray of Frost to keep that up, but it's also not a huge amount of temp hit points. Like, it's maximum 5.
Yeah.
So.
But you're like getting to replenish it every turn, which is really useful.
Yeah.
Particularly at low levels.
It's really useful at low levels, and we'll get at it, especially if it was anything but a sorcerer or a wizard. I would say that's maybe a bit much, but no, they need every ounce of survivability they can fucking get.
Yes, because they have none.
Yes.
Oh dear. The wizard one, arcane deflection.
Yeah.
You hit by an attack or fail a saving throw, you can use your reaction to gain +2 bonus to your AC or a +4 bonus to your saving throw.
Yeah. I think this is a bit closer to the Abjuration Wizard.
Yeah. It's fair.
Which is wherever you cast an Abjuration spell, you get that kind of arcade ward. Which I really want to figure out how to really juice, you know?
Yeah.
I want to figure out how to really just kind of make that go clunk. And do like a really tanky wizard. Because I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Alright.
So that's a good I think that's good for our winter. Good for our winter court. I have a thought for spring.
Good, because I don't.
I do. In fact, I have 2 thoughts, and I want to know which one you think should be for first level and which should be for 14th.
Okay.
Well, because they, you can scale one. You can scale it in either direction. So, what I'm thinking for spring is, in my head, it's like a little pendant. And you get one for life and one for death.
Okay.
Each one is like, a use per long rest, I suppose it's going to need to be. But it's, I feel like the most obvious thing would be like for life would be like an auto stabilizer. Like once per long rest, you can stabilize yourself when you get put onto death saves. Not recover, but you can stabilize. That would be like as a kind of lower level option. A higher level one would be like you get, an insta up with like 10 health.
Possibly more, actually, judging by similar abilities at similar levels.
Yeah. And then for the death one, how much death you want to do?
Okay, so
you can have like the pet. Yeah.
In a set of abilities where we have already broken them down into 4 micro abilities, you want to break one of those down into a pair of micro abilities again.
Yeah, but they're twinned. But no, I'm not. No, that's not what I'm saying. Sorry. One of those is going to be our first level, and one is going to be our 14th. So it's just one ability, but I want you to pick which one's first level. Is it a little auto stabilizer, or is it a added kill switch?
So I'm gonna say the auto stabilizer, if only because I can think of how to make that lower level. I'd like it to be at higher level, because make it something a bit like the Celestial Warlock's final ability, where once per long rest, when they go down, they pop back up, explode, and get half their hit points back.
Nice.
But that's the capstone, if I remember correctly. I can't think of how to really like bring down, because this is a level 1 ability. If we do something like adding your charisma modifier to like spell damage, that's insane. That's insane at first level.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Okay. Well then, yeah. Let's do it. Yeah. Well then, let's do it that way. So let's do auto stabilizer for first, and then for 14th we'll do something like once per long rest you can double a spell's damage. Fuck it, I don't know.
might put a sorcery point cost on that.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
But it's I think the auto stabilize is nice because it just means that like there's a little bit less fear of dying,
Yeah.
which is good for like particularly lower level players, you know, like and newer players as well. Like I
Yeah.
think that's a nice thing.
Especially because of how easy it will be to put down a sorcerer at this point, because you'll have probably less than 10 hit points.
What is the health die for sorcerers?
A D6.
Oh god, it is.
Yeah, this is why I said that the temporary hit points thing
Yeah.
wasn't that insane a deal when it comes to sorcerers, because
Yeah.
they fucking need all the survivability they can get. So
Yeah.
going
Are
by kinda
wizards
like
also a
standard of-
D6?
What?
Are wizards also a D6?
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, they're exactly as fragile as wizards.
Yep. This is like going by standard array. You're probably gonna have a maximum hit points of 8 at the start if you have a +2
Yeah.
in your con.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else is gonna be like
14.
Like your barbarian is going to have probably nearly twice that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because they'll have something like
Yeah,
15.
these guys. Yeah, these guys need help.
Yeah. Sorcerers, take the tough feat.
Yeah.
Wizards, take the tough feat.
Summer and
yeah. Okay. So
autumn.
once per long rest, you can make a death saving throw and right. So I think we need an offensive feature now.
Yeah. Oh, and I think summer is going to be offensive.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the summer. We need to do offense.
How about splash damage?
When you target a
you
single. What?
Creature with a spell. When you target a single creature with a spell.
When you target a single creature when you deal damage to a single creature with a spell, you can then make one other creature within 5 or 10 feet take damage equal to your charisma modifier.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, essentially it's green flame blade.
Yeah, but expanded.
Yeah, you can do it at range. Which is pretty good going, especially for sorcerers wanting to stay out of the action. That's a good summer one.
I'm gonna just to keep it with the summer theme. I'm gonna say you deal fire damage to them.
Yeah, I think that's good. Rather than making each of the would this be too powerful if rather than with each of the ones that we've described so far, rather than tying them to rests, if we made them each a sorcery point cost?
Well, the spring's the only one that's been tied to rests.
Would that be too much if you tied that to sorcery points?
I think at this stage, because we're being pretty minimal. Like this summer one's quite powerful, I will say.
Yeah.
And again, if you think of it, like, here's the thing. I don't think we actually can tie any of these to sorcery points because at first level, you don't fucking have any.
Oh yeah, you don't get it till second level, do you?
You do not get sorcery points until second level.
Oh man.
So we can't.
Yeah, we
put a
can't
sorcery
tie
point
any of
cost
these.
on any of these, because otherwise that means your
Right.
first level ability is useless.
Yep. Because you don't get font of magic till second, and you don't get meta magic till third.
Yep.
Fuck off.
I
Well,
think that's all right.
What
Like-
do you want to do? So, what's the limit on the summer ability? Because that needs to have a limit.
I think if we just do another creature within 5 feet of it, because that's pretty.
And you just
But you have to target a single creature.
yeah, I suppose, and then so your limiting factor in terms of how many times you can use it is spell slots.
Spell slots, and also you're basically what you're doing is you're adding like a tiny bit of AoE to non-AoE spells, but you can't do shit with any of your AoE spells.
That's fair.
So
and also, first level, you've only got 2 spell slots.
Yeah, like you'd have to use something like Witch Bolt for this.
Yeah.
Or Chromatic Orb.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
But you couldn't use something like Burning Hands.
Yes. Or in fact, Green Flame Blade.
Well, exactly.
Alright then.
You could use Booming Blade, though.
Or, you wanted to make it real good, you could multi-class into Warlock and get Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, but that's always a good idea for sorcerers.
Yeah, but also because, like, if you use that with Eldritch Blast, you get to do it for each creature you hit with Eldritch Blast.
Well, in that case, the answer to that, I would say, would be Magic Missile.
True. But that's not lots of separate attacks. I feel like I would rule differently on Magic Missile.
No, it isn't.
But it's also guaranteed hits.
Magic Missile doesn't make an attack.
It doesn't make an attack. It just hits. Yo, dragon.
Eldritch Blast does. Eldritch
yeah,
Blast
it does. Well, that's
attack.
why I would be like, each beam is an attack. So I'm like, Eldritch Blast as like a splash damage thing. I'm like, that makes more sense to me.
I would actually I would rule it differently. I would say, okay, you can pick one of the beams of Eldritch Blast to do this with. Definitely wouldn't let you do it with Magic Missile.
Well, yeah, I'm like, I wouldn't let you do it with Magic Missile because that would be insane.
Well, because if you think about numbers for this,
yeah,
if you do this with Eldritch Blast,
maximum 5 beams, and at that
maximum
level,
4
it's
beams.
not a huge 4 beams. Sorry,
Maximum 4 beams,
and you're like level 17 at that point.
Yes, so just thinking about numbers. Maximum 4 beams.
Yeah.
Say you put 2 levels in Warlock and you get Agonizing Blast.
Yeah.
You have a +5 in you're doing a D10 +5. You're now suddenly doing a D10, kind of a D10 plus 10 damage. Like the amount of damage you do massively expands. But to be fair, that does also rely on everyone being within like 5 feet of each other.
Yeah, but also for context, if you're level 17 at the point where you're doing that, then you're doing 4d10 plus 40, which is about on par with a fighter that hasn't used action surge.
Or has a magic weapon, or doesn't have a magic weapon.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, that's not ridiculously powerful. And as a caster, you don't get multi-attack.
Yeah, that's true.
So, actually, I don't think it's that broken.
Yeah. I never said it's broken. I just said it's powerful. So it's like, let's think about, yeah. All right, we need something for autumn. Let's do something tricky.
Illusions. Social subterfuge.
Being able to...
Charmed farts.
You get a certain number of... I'm going to say up to... We can do either proficiency bonus or charisma modifier. Times where you can impose disadvantage on someone.
That feels quite strong at first level.
Well, at second level, light clerics, I think, get to do it anytime.
Once. No, not any time. Come on, isn't that a channel divinity?
Nope. Let me check warding flare. 56. Show me your clerics. Nature. Warding flare. Oh no, warding flare is first level. Yeah, no, warding flare is the exact same ability actually. Never mind. Because at first level, when you are attacked by a creature within 30 feet that you can see, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll, causing light to flare before the attacker, before it hits or misses. An attacker can't be blinded, is immune to this feature. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier at minimum of once. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest.
That's pretty good.
Oh yeah, light domain clerics are fucking great.
Yeah. Especially given you can wear heavy armor from first level.
No. Light clerics don't get a heavy
Here you
armor
go.
proficiency.
Do they not?
No, life clerics do. Light don't. Light clerics, I think, because they're a lot more magic focused, they get a they don't get a heavy armor proficiency.
Fair.
They do get fireball for free.
Well, I guess there's got to be some perks, right?
Yeah, they get, like, light clerics are fucking amazing. They get an insane spell list. They get potent spell casting, and they get a fucking giant, like, light nuke that they can do.
Jesus, they really do.
Light clerics are great.
Yeah.
They're really good. Like, I've had a light cleric on my side in 2 separate runs of Baldur's Gate 3, and it fucking slaps.
I will say the 17th level's a bit shite.
I disagree a little. Okay, it's not the best, but considering the number of spells that you have at your disposal at that point,
Yeah.
that do fire or radiant damage,
Fair.
making sure that you, for example, you have Wall of Fire and Flame Strike, and anyone have just a blanket disadvantage.
Everyone has disadvantage.
It does suck a little bit. That's an action,
Yeah.
but it doesn't.
But it also lasts for a minute.
It does last for a minute, and it's non-concentration. So
Yeah, so that's not terrible.
but that does mean we have to do something else, because I don't want to just rip off the light cleric's warding flare.
No, that's fair.
Some kind of bamboozlement.
How about something really stupid?
Something really what?
Something really stupid.
All right.
If a creature misses an attack on you, you can use your reaction to swap places with it, regardless of distance, or something like that.
Okay. That's very funny in terms of fuckery. That's
Yeah.
a genuinely fucking horrible idea tactically if you're dealing with enemies who are trying to
Sorcerers.
attack you from long range, because you're a sorcerer. If you're suddenly up in the mix with them, you're going to get cut to pieces.
Yeah, but like,
You suddenly appear and
Yeah.
there's 6 guys with halberds standing around you, and you're like, what up, guys?
how about then maybe even like the reverse of the Fey warlocks teleporting invisible? Like somebody misses an attack on you or hits you with an attack and they get teleported.
Yeah, actually, I like that idea where you can just sort of like drop someone 10 feet away, but they have to be on a solid surface.
Yes, and it'd be 30 feet. Let's be fair.
Yeah. Whenever a
Imagine all
creature
6 missing.
misses you with an attack, you can use your reaction to teleport them up to 30 feet to a spot of your choosing.
Choosing.
Spot must be on a solid surface that can support the creature. I want to limit this to medium or smaller creatures.
I mean,
Chris,
I don't want to do that just because, I don't know.
teleport the Tarask.
Why not? At the level you're fighting the Tarask, why the fuck
At the
not?
level you're fighting the Tarask, why the fuck not? But also, like, your first level, this is a first level ability. We should maybe not necessarily make it quite so Yeah, problem with that is that Invoke Duplicity's shit.
That's why you need a reworking or alteration of it.
Fucking do, yeah. I have very little time for Trickery Domain Clerics. I find a lot of their abilities rather just...
Sorry, Dragon, your ideas are shit. You're not allowed to contribute anymore.
Yeah, I find Trickery Domain Clerics, I find a lot of their stuff kind of quite lacking.
I actually know fuck all about Trickery Domain Clerics. I'm now going to look them up.
They can give people advantage on stealth. You can create an illusory copy of yourself. Which, admittedly, you can create an illusory copy and then cast spells through it as your channel divinity, which is alright.
That's pretty good.
A little bit of invisibility, extra poison damage, and then you can create 4 duplicates. But you can only you can create 4 duplicates at once. So it's nice, but when you have other clerics who are, like Tempest or War doing truly insane things on a battlefield, I feel like the Trickery Cleric should actually have maybe had less combat focused features.
I mean, that's not entirely unreasonable, but also, like, a walking mobile turret, to all intents and purposes, that you can just run around the field and is an illusion so doesn't take any damage. Like, that's pretty good. Like, it avoids the dangers of putting your familiar in danger.
But it does also take concentration.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which is,
well,
yeah.
I don't hate it.
It's not that I don't hate it. I just look at every other cleric subclass and go, they have more shit that I find interesting or want to do.
I mean, I will grant you that the 8th level Divine Strike is bad.
Yeah, because so many things resist poison.
Yeah.
So many things.
But also, like, why is your cleric doing big weapon attacks?
Yeah, this is very clearly like a
caster.
much more magic-oriented thing.
Yeah,
Like, it should
that
be
makes sense.
It should be the potent spellcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anywho,
I don't hate Invoke Duplicity, Dragon. Alright, I'm on your side. Alright, Jay's a dick, and we must unite against him to overthrow his maniacal, tyrannical reign.
I am one of those things.
Alright, so okay, but yeah, so for autumn we've got something.
Yep.
Like a move other people type thing.
I think there's
which
maybe
is fun.
I think there's maybe some caveats that I haven't put in yet. This sort of like, so you don't teleport people and drop them into things that will cause them damage. But I'll add those later.
Yeah. But the idea is that is that realistically the point of it is if somebody comes up to you and attacks you, they then end up next to the barbarian about to take an attack of opportunity and you're safe again.
Yeah. Especially if you couple this with like the World Tree Barbarian that can reduce people's speed to 0 when they're right next to them and be like, hi!
Boom. Yeah, so like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. That's what we're looking for.
Alright, what should we call this? I just want to say seasonal
Vivaldi's
depression,
Big
but
Violin.
that's not a good one.
What?
I want to say seasonal depression, but...
I said Vivaldi's Big Violin.
No, that's a spell.
Yeah, I know.
Seasonal impression?
I
don't want to just say season.
Court appointed.
What?
That's fair. Court appointed.
Oh.
Seasonal messenger? Seasonal tidings? That's quite clever. Thank you. I like to think that I am hilarious.
Tides of seasons. Tides of chaos seasons. I had something. Damn it, I had something.
Was it your marbles?
No! Oh, fuck. I had a court thing. I had a thing. Newcomer at court, or, courtly casting?
Squire of...
Fey Squire. Fuck it.
Yeah, Fey Squire. As in, where you Fey? I'm Fey Squire. Where are you, Fey?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Right. The final part of that is you can switch which court you were aligned with at the end of a long rest.
Yes.
Cool.
And then 6th level was our condition immunities.
Yep.
You could call it conditional loyalty! Because you're changing, because you're changing your court loyalty every long rest. It's a pun! Say pew, no play on words.
Right, so winter was going to be frightened and... Should we say paralyzed? Because you get frozen.
I believe it was paralyzed, probably. Yeah, let's go. Yeah. Frightened and paralyzed.
Sprung.
Spring.
Autumn was going to be charmed.
Yeah, autumn was going to be charmed and grappled.
Yep.
Because I love the idea of being immune to being grappled.
In fact, you can literally just go, can't touch this. Oberon said no bad touch!
So that leaves us, spring was deafened, summer was blinded, and then we are left with...
Deafened and poisoned?
Is it restrained and poisoned?
No, because we were going to do...
Oh, no. No, but I think it's restrained and stunned.
For summer or spring?
I think we forgot about poisoned.
Right, what are the remaining conditions? Because we...
Yeah, this is why I wanted you to write it down when we had the conversation, Jay.
Yeah.
Twat. Right, so. Blinded, charmed, deafened, frightened. Grappled, incapacitated, invisible, paralyzed, petrified, poisoned. Is that 10?
Yep.
Prone, restrained, stunned, unconscious.
Right, and we nixed
That's actually
unconscious.
14.
What? It's 14,
That's actually
yeah.
14. I think I'd only originally counted 13. But yes,
Right.
we took out unconscious, we took out prone,
We took out petrified.
we took out petrified, we took out invisible.
Yep. That's back down to 10.
Yep.
I think we took out
We took
incapacitated.
out. Yes, I think we took out incapacitated. And then I think we just forgot poisoned existed. Which gave us our 8.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, I know. So we're between restrained and stunned.
Right, so I think I
Not
have a way around this.
Yeah.
Deafened and blinded often go together. So for whichever
Okay.
one is blinded and deafened, should we do 3?
Okay, well then summer we should do deaf blind.
Yeah. So summer is
Summer we
blinded,
should-
deafened, and
Blinded. And then spring will be poisoned.
so yeah. Summer is blinded, deafened, and stunned.
Yeah.
And then spring is poisoned and restrained? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Was
That's
it wait, was yeah. That's it.
That's it.
Cannot be restrained.
Alright, so now we need to hit the hard part. We need to do 3rd level spells for everything.
No!
Yes.
I wanna.
We only got up to 2nd level for everything else.
I wanna.
Come on, it'll be fun.
It's hard.
Come on, come on. Spells.
Fine.
This 3rd level
My
spell is where
shitty
a lot of the
ass
fun stuff is.
spellbook app. Okay.
Okay.
You think is where all the fun stuff is. I think it's where we get stuck in a quagmire for half an hour.
Well, I mean 3rd level spells. Mostly. Right, so let's kind of rapid fire through this then. Slow and for winter, slow and fuck it, counterspell.
I mean, you know what? That's not a terrible idea.
Okay. Okay, spring.
Aura of vitality.
Aura of vitality.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to say conjure animals.
I mean, I am much more for like blight, but I can't. But blight's not a 3rd level.
No, that's 4th level. Well, that's for next time round.
Bestow curse.
Nah, I think we should do that for autumn.
Fair enough.
Let's go in with sort of the mass healing word.
Instead of aura of.
No, aura of
Thingy?
vitality. Oh no, because that's 2 healing things.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah, aura of vitality and can't just say fireball. Can't say fireball. Can't say fireball.
Can't say fireball because that clearly goes with summer.
Yeah, call lightning.
I feel like call lightning is not the right vibe.
Okay.
I feel like it's more like vampiric touch or like a necromancy spell.
Speak with dead?
Speak with Dead's not bad. Life transference?
Life transference or maybe animate dead? I don't know, Vampiric Touch is a 3rd level spell. I thought it was 4th level.
You know, Vampiric Touch is a 3rd level spell.
Then let's say Vampiric Touch then. Fuck it.
Alright, deal with it. Yep, Vampiric Touch. Okay. We've done winter, we've done spring. What's summer? Summer
Fireball.
is a Chardalon Stride.
Chardalon Stride and Fireball.
Don't care that if sorcerers can learn them naturally. Which they can.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
Autumn. Fuck, what did I dismiss and say it was for autumn?
Hypnotic Pattern, Incite Greed.
I mean, Hypnotic Pattern's a great one.
Hypnotic Pattern's an excellent one.
Yeah. Bestow Curse, that was it.
Aye, Bestow Curse.
Bestow Curse and Hypnotic
There you go,
Pattern.
Hypnotic Pattern and Bestow Curse. Sorted. Hey, look at that, we did it! Now let's never do spells again. As we build our spellcaster. Ah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry that you had a 2nd level spell idea, Dragon. It's okay, maybe next time.
How many of the Sorcerer subclasses actually get 2 abilities at 6th level? Because I feel this was, so I know we had a thing where I realized I might have mismade the template.
The answer is some of them.
Okay.
Not many of them.
Can we be asked?
No.
Cool. Right, that means we need to do
14.
more spells.
We do need to do more spells.
We need to do the rest of the
Alright.
spells.
Just out of curiosity,
Yep.
like, sorcerer level, obviously, spells. Are we doing spells of 1st, 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th level? Because that's not right.
No, because that's the level of the character. It's 1st to 5th
Yeah,
level.
exactly. So did we do 2nd level spells last time?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that's why I
I
started
realized
this
we
at
were
3rd.
I
Yeah,
didn't
because
realize we were so productive last time.
for winter we did Ray of Frost, Armor of Agathis, and Bane for the 1st level spells, and then Rhymes, Binding Ice, and Blur for the 2nd level.
Hey, look
Autumn
at that.
got Phantasmal
See?
Force and Suggestion at 2nd level. There's a bunch of good 2nd level shit.
We
What
were
we-
significantly better last week than I remembered.
Yeah, it was
Alright,
the
4th
only
level.
thing we did.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
That's
4th
fair.
level spells. We're going winter.
Storm Sphere.
What?
Storm Sphere. For winter.
Storm Sphere, Sphere of
Yeah, the
Storms.
Sphere of Storms.
Man has a Sphere of Storms.
That man's got a Sphere of Storms.
Can we think of anything else that isn't already a sorcerer spell? But also, to be fair, sorcerers have a huge spell list. So, Ice Storm though.
Ice Storm. Ice Storm makes sense.
Ice Storm.
Gotta do that cold.
Oh, Ice Storm and Fire Shield.
No.
But Fire Shield has a specific cold version.
Does that actually?
Genuinely, yeah.
Heat shield or cold, your choice.
Yeah.
The heat shield gives you cold damage resistance, the cold resistance to fire. Hey, that's, you know what? Okay, actually, I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
Okay, Ice Storm and Fire Shield.
Deal.
Sweet.
Hang on. I saw the thing for
Sprang.
spring. I knew exactly what the spring thing was.
Aura of Life.
Where's it gone? I was looking at Aura of Life. But hang on. Spirit of Death.
Okay.
BMT. What's BMT?
I have Book of Many Things.
There you go. Are we using Book of Many Things?
Yeah, sure.
Alright.
Don't remember what the fuck's in it, but
So, Spirit manifests an unoccupied space you can see within range, uses the Reaper Spirit stat block. Spirit disappears and is reduced to 0 hit points. Spirit is an ally to you and your companions in combat. Spirit shares your initiative, takes a turn immediately after you, obeys your verbal commands. Okay, actually, you know what? That's actually a more boring spell than I thought it was.
yeah, it's of the summon spells. It's actually kind of not interesting. Like
no,
you can
that's
hunt
garbage.
people with it. Like, you can haunt someone And just
Yeah,
sort
I
of
take it back. Sickening Radiance is the correct answer.
Fuck.
Sickening Radiance is an amazing spell.
What? You mean I cast radiation poisoning?
Yes! Here, have your levels of exhaustion.
Okay, so Aura of Life and Sickening Radiance.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay.
Summer!
Jesus, like Sickening Radiance is a spell that terrifies me.
It's so fucking good, man. I don't know if you remember when Vari and I were in Ryan's
Yes,
campaign.
I remember.
We did a combo move.
Yes, the microwave.
One of us had gravitational. What's
Gravity
it called?
well.
The like gravity well, and the other had sickening radiance, and we used them together. Gravity sinkhole.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was beautiful. It was so good.
The classic, I believe, is Sickening Radiance and Wall of Force.
Thank you, Dragon. If you, we appreciate you being here, even when you have no signal. You are a beautiful scaly boy. Thank you,
Dragon. Yeah, the classic microwave is Sickening Radiance and Wall of Force.
That's fair. That's
fair.
fair.
You just trap them in there and cook them.
You know, there's not a huge amount of fire aside from Wall of Fire.
I mean, Wall of Fire is pretty good. I would suggest Wall of Fire.
I think Wall of Fire. I'm kind of here for a summon though as well.
Summon Elemental then.
Like summon Elemental was kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what is a summer party?
It's either that or it would be like Elemental Bane, maybe.
Nah.
Yeah.
Right. Autumn. Let's get tricky shit.
Autumn. Yup.
Level 4 I seem to remember being good for.
Hallucinatory Terrain is at level 4, which is great.
Hallucinatory
Phantasmal
terrain.
Killer.
Freedom of movement.
Freedom of movement could be very, very funny.
Oh, mate. Dimension door.
Hey, that's what we want.
Dimension door. I think Dimension door and Charm Monster, I think, would be two good ones.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Dimension Door and Charm Monster. I have no issue. Let's do it. I still feel like Phantasmal Killer would have been fun.
I think it would have, yeah, but
But you're sold on these two, and I would hate to dissuade you.
yeah, and I forgot what the second one was.
Charm Monster.
Thank you.
And Dimension Door.
Yeah, just because we're moving around, we're doing trickery fuckery, and
Yeah.
Dimension Door is an incredibly good spell.
That's fair.
All right, 5th level spells.
Fifth level spells, mother huggers.
Okay, back to winter. Cone of Cold.
Cone of Cold sounds about right.
Cone of Cold. Like it's Cone of Cold. Of course, it's Cone of Cold.
It's Cone of Cold. It's if you're gonna be cold, you got to do it in a cold.
Should we do a bit of necromancy and go what does negative energy flood do? I keep forgetting.
I was thinking about enervation, but fair.
Must be Constitution saving throws.
Alternatively, Maelstrom, which has like
Storm.
defensive properties and damaging properties.
Yeah, and also sorcerers don't normally get to cast it.
Hey, that feels good.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sprang.
All right. Sprang. I mean, the immediate feeling is anti-life shell, but it's shite. Because if we're not doing that, then enervation definitely feels like a good shout.
Enervation. What the fuck does that do? Inky Darkness.
On a failed save, target
2d8 necrotic, continuous necrotic damage.
takes 4d8 until the spell ends. You can use your action on each of your turns to automatically deal 4d8 damage to the target.
Okay. That means we need... Oh, should we give this sorcerer something really good?
Greater Restoration?
Greater Restoration.
Yep. Hey, and we've even got an automatic spell for summer.
We do?
Immolation.
Chris, I'm not a Tibetan protester. Why should I care about immolation?
You don't care about rights for... You don't care about human rights. We just care about flames.
I do raise you Flame Strike.
Why not both?
Because that's just 2 damaging fire spells.
And? What's your problem? Show me a third spell and we'll argue about it. It's not there. It's not a third, 5th level spell.
What does Infernal Calling do? Oh, it summons a devil. Genuinely Insect Plague.
I mean, like, I kind of get it, but also I'm like, nah, it's not in the vibe.
Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, Immolation and fucking Flame Strike.
Yup!
Okay,
We are fire, baby! Remember, though, people can switch every long rest.
That is true, and they do lose access to these spells. Okay,
Yeah, so they're switching these spells on long rest as well. So
I am going to make a case for Bigby's Hand. For autumn.
Because you like big hands?
Because Bigby's Hand is a very good spell for fucking about with, because it's incredibly versatile, and you can kind of just go with it.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair.
So either Bigby's Hand, or there was another one, which was going to be Telekinesis.
Okay.
So one or the other, not both.
That's fair. I kinda like Dance Macabre.
Dance Macabre, summoning a bunch of undead motherfuckers?
To like dance and be your friends. It's not I'm not married to it, but like
Just get a bit of Halloween energy in the autumn.
yeah.
Sorcerer. Okay.
I've also realized that for spring we missed out on Destructive Wave, which can be radiant or necrotic.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
I know, but it's like
We
a
also
lot
missed
of
out on
paladin stuff
Reincarnate.
like that.
Reincarnate would actually have been perfect for spring.
Wait, we have Reincarnate at 5th level?
Reincarnate
5th level spell? Oh, we do! Can we change the 5th level stuff?
From spring to Enervation and Reincarnate.
Greater Restoration's really good, though.
Yeah.
Sorcerers can't have Greater Restoration.
Or Enervation, I believe.
No, let's leave it. Let's leave it where it is. We're not gonna do Reincarnate.
No, they can
just
have
because
Enervation.
I like it.
No, they can have Enervation, so we can ditch. We can ditch Enervation.
Yeah, but if we were gonna
Sorcerer
if we were gonna ditch Enervation, we'd ditch it for Destructive Wave.
Should we do Destructive Wave and Reincarnate instead? Fuck it, no. We have a.
I have to say, I'm now looking forward to getting 5th level spells as Samson, because I'm like, this will be great.
Yeah.
Each creature you choose in 30 feet has to save in a con save, or take 5d6 thunder damage plus 5d6 radiant or necrotic damage.
Yeah, Destructive Wave's a really powerful spell, but also... Yeah, man, your 5th level spells are coming in at 17th level, like...
There's a hard life when you're a half-caster.
It's a hard life when you're a half-caster.
To be fair, I'm technically a 3/4 caster because I'm multi-classed into Sorcerer.
Yeah, which will actually make things a bit faster in terms of your level up and the spell slots you have available.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, we still
I
have
have
to
a 5th level. I'm fairly sure I actually have a 5th level spell slot now, but I just don't have access to 5th level cleric spells. I don't think. I'm not or paladin spells. I don't know. Because it's tied to your paladin level. I don't know if it is. It's very confusing.
It is. I think I've been running it a bit fast and loose, but yeah.
What are we doing for autumn?
Well, you suggested Dance Macabre, and I suggested
Yeah,
Bigby's Hand.
I do like telekinesis though.
Well, it'll be telekinesis instead of Bigby's Hand. But telekinesis is a really fucking good spell.
How about synaptic static? Xanathar's guide spell.
Yeah.
Each creature in 20-foot radius sphere
then they
makes
take a
an
D6
intelligence
off
save.
of their various checks.
What?
I've used
Yeah,
synaptic
so
static.
it's muddled thoughts for a minute. During that time, subtract a D6 from all its attack rolls and ability checks,
Weirdly, it feels
as well as con saves.
It feels a little too direct.
Really?
Yeah, for the fuckery class, for the fuckery bit.
I mean, it do fuckery with the fuckers.
It do fuck with the fuckeries, but actually, to be fair, like modify memory or mislead would probably be a bit more in the vein of what we're trying to do.
Mislead. We could absolutely do mislead.
Yeah.
You become invisible at the same time that an illusory double of you appears where you're standing. Fuck yes.
So
I definitely think we should do mislead now.
okay. So mislead, because that's a lot more kind of in the vein of what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Genuinely like legend lore, but only for like a meta reason.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because legend lore is the fuck with the DM spell.
Yes, it is.
Modify memory, genuinely.
Geas?
He's a break. Yeah, actually, yes. Bring someone under your control.
Yeah, plus deal psychic damage
Augury is
every
6th
time it
level,
tries
I think.
to resist you. I was going to say Augury's not 5th level.
What the hell is Augury? Augury's 2nd level.
2nd level? Well, we missed that, didn't we?
Yeah, we're thinking of something else.
Yeah.
Mislead and guess.
Yeah.
Okay, that's our spells done. That's
Hey! I'm
okay. So
proud
10th
of
level, nothing. 14th level. What's our 14th level ability? Time to do something stupid.
Yep, but still not the most stupid because our capstone is at 18th.
Yep.
So, let's do... I mean, I know what I want to do for spring, but let's start with winter.
Okay, are we going to do 4 abilities or are we going to do 1 ability that crosses them over?
This one we're doing 4 abilities, and then the capstone is 1 ability that crosses over.
Okay. Okay.
So, winter is cold and defense. So... So. We could do. What are other classes getting at 14th level? Like what's like wizards are getting some of their like subclass capstones at 14th.
Clerics are looking like 7th level spells and destroy undead.
I mean, we've also got 7th level spells, so
Yeah.
I'm like, it's so what else
Barbarians
is
are
coming in?
getting a subclass feature. Brutal criticals and that. Bards are their second round of magical secrets. So we're getting it's not 14th appears to be a fairly boring but powerful level.
Yeah, so
Because druids
kind of want to be
druids are also
interesting.
getting their sort of capstone subclass feature.
Yeah.
Like let's have a look.
Okay.
So yeah, moon
So let's
druids.
do something. Yeah.
Yeah, moon druids are casting alter self at will.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. Fighters are getting yet another ASI. Rogues are roguing. Rangers are ranging.
Here's. Oh, this might be more the 18th level. I don't know. Or we swap them about. How about like a little aura, like a bringing the Fey court with you, like where you stand is a piece of the Feywild.
Okay.
So
give
there's like
each
a
of them kind
logic
of an aura.
inversion. Yeah, so like so for creatures within that aura, that space, you are within the Feywild. So there's like a logic inversion based on the court that you're a part of.
Oh, okay. I can fuck with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Winter Court. Snow and ice coats people, and hostile creatures in a 30-foot radius of you have like their speed reduced.
Yeah, like I'm here for that. Like
Yeah.
they have their speed reduced. If we were to make this the 18th level ability instead of the 14th.
No, the 18th level ability I have a very good idea for that, which is in combat being able to spend sorcery points to switch court on the fly.
That's pretty fucking cool. I will give you that. That's
Yeah.
pretty fucking cool. Okay.
But I think I will also
Right.
limit the size of this aura to 20 to 15 feet rather than 30.
Yes, I think it's a small aura. You are
Because-
only bringing a small piece of the Feywild with you.
Yeah, and also because paladins, they don't get their aura improvement until later, I think.
Yes, no, they don't.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not until
level
18th level that their aura becomes 30 feet.
Yeah. But they also have multiple auras at this point.
Yes, you'll have at the very least devotion and courage, your aura of protection, aura of courage, and then usually one that's granted by your subclass.
Yeah.
So usually 3 at this point.
Yeah. So okay, so maybe like reduction in movement speed's not a big one. Well, I suppose winter's your defensive one, so it's
If it's only 15 feet around you.
It's not great.
It's very. It would if you considered it difficult terrain. That would actually make.
Yeah.
That would I think would be a big deal. Dealing with melee attackers.
Yeah, but I think we would need to do difficult terrain plus. So I'm for instance, difficult terrain plus chip damage.
Or a creature that enters the space has to make a saving throw or fall prone.
Or, and bear with me on this one, change their damage type. Creatures within the aura can only deal cold damage.
Without
the damage type of all of their attacks are changed to cold damage.
Without an inherent resistance to cold damage, I don't think that's useful.
I mean, I think we could also potentially put the inherent the resistance to cold damage in there, but I don't know.
No, I think that's.
I'm just thinking in terms of like fuckery. I'm trying to think fuckery.
Well, I think you're thinking wrong. I think you're thinking about the wrong court.
No, that's fair. No, but like no, and also no. There's no. I appreciate we did autumn as fuckery, but also no Fey court is above fuckery.
That's true. But the winter court is traditionally the most honest.
Fair, but I think there's got to be. Oh, it's part of what I'm doing with my homeworld world regarding the Fae. No, you didn't tell us, Dragon. Please tell us, because I'm going to monologue in the meantime. But yes, no, tell us about your homeworld world and the Fae, because I'm here for that. Always here for that. I feel like there needs to be, yeah, like I said, like a logical inversion. Like if you're within 15 feet of this sorcerer, you are in the Feywild. You're not in the material plane anymore. You're in the Feywild. So what's the consequence of that?
Holy fuck, Dragon.
Wow. That's
messed up and I want to play it.
I mean, I feel like the classic would be just to do that to elves, but then maybe that's a bit basic.
I mean, elves and fae, like there's a lot of overlap
like
there.
Yeah, yeah, but like, yeah, that would be interesting, particularly given the variety of fae.
Fuck, that would be messed up.
Yeah.
Aww.
Look at you, Jay. Look at you, you're famous.
Oh, Dragon, you're gonna make me cry.
Dragon, you done a sweet thing, and now you've broken a Jay. All his nastiness is gone because you did a nice thing for him.
Genuinely, that.
Oh!
Hell yeah. Oh my god.
It's fair. Can't argue with that.
That was a fair shot. It was a fair shot, sir.
Absolutely. If we wankers had but a Discord.
If only.
If only. No worries, Dragon. No worries.
Okay, man. Okay, so...
Okay.
What are the fundamental laws of the worlds that can get fucked with by suddenly being in the Feywild?
I mean, I would say that the part of the Feywild that fucks with the logic of all individual worlds is that in the Feywild, what is agreed becomes reality. That's part of like the whole deals and the trading of names and faces for things.
That was what I was going to suggest for autumn. It was going to be seeming. Sorry.
There you go. That would have been good. But yeah, like mutual agreement creates reality, in essence. So, yeah. Going into the building, my badge doesn't work. Well, I don't have a joke about that. I was trying to find a joke about that, and I've lost it. Do you have an alternative for the ways in which the Feywild differs from the mortal plane?
I'm just trying to think of how to implement that practically.
I feel like I think the thing that it does is it metamorphosis of some kind. Like something that is normal has to fundamentally change the way it functions. And I'm not sure how that works. Like, altering everybody's damage type, I think, is like a really simplistic way of doing it. For Spring, I was going to say something along the lines of, you know, anything that does radiant damage heals anything that does necrotic, or anything that does radiant, like healing damages and necrotic damage heals. You know, like that old chestnut. You know, yeah. Like, does autumn become more suggestible? Does autumn could maybe like use a reaction to change the target of an attack, spell, or ability
to another creature within the space.
Yeah, like that would be really cool. You know, and that could be something like, you know, I would like to persuade this guy. Actually, you're going to persuade this other guy. You know, that could be really funny. Summer. Entering the summer court is pain. Entering the winter court is pain. I don't know. You could lose access to something. So in the summer court, entering the aura leaves you blinded or deafened. But as soon as you leave it, you stop being blinded or deafened. Like, that could be a thing. Autumn has to have some kind of fall damage. God damn it!
See, that's where the knocking people prone thing would have come in.
Yeah. Winter. Hey, actually, winter. And this could be interesting because you've got fuck all AC to start with. Creatures within winter ignore AC when making attack rolls. Benefits you and benefits them.
So all attacks hit.
Yeah, it would be like the honesty idea. But it only works for melee guys who get in range of you, and you, as a caster, you don't have a lot of attack spells that go against AC. Most of it's going to be saving throws.
Okay, so this would have to only count if both the attacker and the target were within the 15 feet. Because if it's just anyone who was within 15 feet automatically hits, that's so
that's
unbelievably powerful.
Or even if it's like a
But it doesn't encourage you to stand side by side and fight it.
Yeah, like if you make an attack against someone within the Winter Fae, or someone within the Winter Fae makes an attack against you, both creatures treat their AC as their base AC. Creatures treat their AC as 10.
Just evens it out.
Yeah. So just like when you're talking about it's the most honest of the courts. Like, so yeah, you come in and you lose all of your defensive advantages. It's just a straight fuck you.
Okay. So... yeah,
but the Sorcerer, it's not a big loss because your AC's already dog shit, but you're also gaining 10 hit points every time you attack.
Yeah?
So that's, yeah. Okay. So winter is like a duel, like an honest duel. Yeah. It says if you make an attack against a creature within the 15-foot winter aura, or a creature within the 15-foot winter aura makes an attack against another creature within the 15-foot winter aura, including you, then both creatures' AC are reduced to 10 for the duration of the combat.
Well, you're within 10 feet of a creature, both you and that creature treat your respective ACs as 10.
Yeah.
Any creature outside this aura
does not gain this
does not
effect.
So the way I've worded this means that you are the one who treats it as AC. So if you have someone next to you, they're not going to have that. Oh, Jesus Christ.
So specifically a combat between you and someone in the aura.
Yeah. So you like if this isn't going to work if you buddy up with your monk friend.
No, that's fair, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, it goes with the honesty.
Yeah. So I know exactly how I would break the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Metamagic transmuted spell.
Mm-hmm.
Scorching Ray.
Perfect.
Because then it deals cold damage, and I get the temp HP, and it just goes. Bah, 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 bah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I have an idea for summer for the reverse of that then.
Okay. Everybody gets an AC of 30!
Frenzy. The summer court is an orgy of frenzied delight.
Okay.
By entering it, you enter a frenzied state. There's a frenzy spell.
No, there isn't. Is there?
Isn't there?
No, I don't think so. There's a frenzy ability, which is a barbarian thing, but...
I was sure there was a spell.
No, I don't think there's a spell. There is no frenzy.
Right, what's the... Yeah, made it up. I was... Oh, well.
There's no Queen of England.
What's... Hmm?
Nothing.
Saying stupid shit.
Yeah, I'm just quoting Megamind.
That's fair. I haven't seen that in ages.
Such a good movie. It really does hold up.
It's
a Will Ferrell movie that holds up.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Why is frenzy horrible and how to fix it?
It's horrible because it gives you exhaustion when you stop using it. So over the course of a long adventuring day, if you use your main class ability, you're going to die.
It's just that bitch that killed Diana. Frenzy is path of the Berserker. Sorry, but the concept of a frenzy would be like a wild, erratic, just throwing of shit.
So, what I would say is, because we've already got a retargeting ability in autumn. Because what I would say with summer is that any creature besides yourself, because you have control in this moment,
Yeah.
that attempts to target another creature with an ability or an attack must roll a d6, and if they roll a 5 or a 6, they get to attack. If they roll a 3 or 4, you get to choose the target of their attack. If they roll a 1 or a 2, they get to the thing.
How about then instead, if anyone casts a spell within the Ring of Summer, they have to roll a luck die, and if they fail the luck die, then when they cast their spell, they also suffer the consequence of that spell. You get a backfire.
I like
Gives
it.
you an incentive. An incentive to try and get up real close with enemy casters.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a good idea, but I don't like that for an aura.
No, that's fair.
I like that for a targeted ability. If you were doing like a juiced kind of version of counterspell,
Yeah.
where like you see someone casting a spell and you're like, haha, you also suffer this problem.
Fair.
I like the idea of total fucking chaos though.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus Christ, we've got 5 minutes to the end of the stream.
Oh shit, we do. Well, at least we know what we're doing with winter, autumn, and spring.
And the 18th level ability.
And the 18th level ability. What were we doing with the 18th level ability? You had a
Spend
really good
sorcery
idea.
points to switch courts
Yes.
as a bonus action, as an action.
As an action?
Bonus action, fuck it.
Yeah. Because you're already limiting it by using sorcery points. It's just summer. We've got to figure out what's going to make summer a little bit crazy.
There, that's the...
Use action before moving on each of its turns to make a melee attack against a creature other than itself. Turns uses your action to maintain control.
Summer, come on. We just need a summer thing.
Whenever a creature starts its turn.
Whenever a creature starts its turn within 15 feet of you, it has to make a saving throw. If it fails the saving throw, then no.
Fails the saving throw, then it has to use its full movement to walk in a direction that you choose, and also takes a small amount of fire damage.
Oh, here's something we could be really mean about, is you could make it take fire damage for depending on how far it goes.
Yes!
Yep.
Make it like spike growth.
I'm gonna make it less than spike growth.
Oh god, yeah.
But yeah.
It's going to be a really
But-
interesting sorcerer, because we've just given all of these sorcerers a real incentive to have enemies within 15 feet of them.
Yeah, we have. Should we make... I do want to do like a melee focused sorcerer at some point. Kind of like the sorcerer's answer to
would
the
be
blade
cool.
singer.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm here for that.
gonna do that later. Because they did try it once with the stone sorcerer, with an Arth Arcana, but it never really got codified. So, question.
And
Do we want to make them use all their movement, or do we want to make them use a dash action?
if they're taking... No, you
Okay.
can't make them use their action. Like, just for starting next to you. I think we should make it in a straight line, so that if they hit an obstacle, they stop.
Yeah.
You know.
Creature takes a d4 of fire damage for every 5 feet they move due to this effect.
Say again?
D4 of fire damage for every 5 feet they move due to this effect.
Sounds good to me.
Cool. That's it. That's our face sorcerer.
Yep.
That's it. Done. We need it. Okay. Whoa. No. Ah.
We need names for things?
We need a name for the third ability.
Something about entering the court. Something about bringing the wild to you. Enter the wild. I don't know. Where are you, Faye? Courtier's
Fae
presence.
Festival.
I feel like Courtier's presence and Fae Festival both have that, like, it's not quite there. It's a little bit too
I prefer Courtier's presence.
fair. I know. It sounds too much like a Yu-Gi-Oh card to me. Like it's, I don't know. It just feels a little formal. I don't know. I'm like, I rail against it for some reason. Maybe just because I have issues with authority.
Wilds abound.
Wilds Abound I don't hate.
Courts and circuses.
We're not at the induction into court. Maybe like not royal welcome, or like, I don't know, something about royalty, something about majesty, something about
Courtly aura.
I know, it's hard. What? Court.
Oh.
What?
Fair.
Fair. That's not bad.
Ferret frenzy. I don't fucking know, man.
Ferret frenzy.
Like we're Chris, we're 3 minutes over time. We got it.
What's the... Fuck.
Don't make me try and pronounce any of the names of Fairyland.
Scarborough Fair.
Are you fucking going or not?
Vicious Intrigue?
Eh?
I know. Courtly Intrigue was where I was at.
Yeah.
Shades and Whispers? I don't know.
Hither and thither, honestly.
There and back again. A nightmare by whoever the fuck the sorcerer ends up being.
I don't know, some drunken fey fucker.
Some drunken fey fucker.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Hither, thither, and yon.
Hither, thither, and yon. Deal. Alright. Dragon's done it!
Thank you. Right. I'm gonna fucking formalize the shit out of this and fix my fucking sorcerer template. But thank you very much for joining us.
Yay!
Like fuck. Yeah. That is our Fey Sorcerer. We're gonna go and do something else next week. Fuck knows what, because not gonna lie, we don't pick our stream topics usually until like the morning, afternoon, 10 minutes before we go on live.
We're a super organized people, as you can tell from our Discord.
But speaking of social media, you can follow me on Twitter at JonathanHoney4. You can follow my games company at Old Alliance Games. That's at Old_Games on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, and I'm pretty sure you can make a devil's sacrament to summon at least one of us at this point. I know things have been a little quiet over there, but we are still here. We are still working on stuff. We're just undergoing a little bit of trying to make, reorienting ourselves. It's been kind of a crazy couple of months, but we're still here. We're still working on things. We're still alive. And if you want to watch some interesting plays, then Chris.
Yeah. So speaking of crazy, at Chris Honey Actor on Instagram, but rehearsals in full swing. The Fringe is next month. It's crazy. We have a crowdfunder. You can also find just us on things at Short and Sweet Theatre on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, on various other on various places. Only find me on Instagram. Don't look for me other places. I don't talk to people. Hey, there you go. See, Dragon liked it. And Dragon doesn't normally play these types of games, so, fucking...
The demo doesn't even have the proper horror in it yet.
Yeah, the horror's only going to get more horrible.
Oh, yes.
But no horror in mine. Mine is a beautiful, charming, and relatable musical about being a barista in post-capitalist hellscape existence. Come see us. We're great.
Woo! Yeah, it's very much the lead in. We're still working in the actual scary bits.
Yeah. The horror's coming.
The horror's coming. We swear. The horror persists, and so do we.
Aye.
But yeah, we'll be back next week. We'll talk about shit. We'll put shit up. And all the rest of this shit is on YouTube, and you can find all this on Patreon.
Yeah.
Don't pay for it. Don't pay me unless you see
the horror
something
truly
you like.
is a slag.
Right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.